Hey everybody, what do you say we tackle a Matchbox today? I think it sounds like a great idea. Don't go away. Hey everybody, it's Paul from Fat Guy Productions, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And today we are going to tackle a Matchbox. And it's difficult for me because I can't tell if I really think this is a super ugly car or if it's a super cool car. I just really don't know. We're going to be restoring maybe a custom, a Lesney Matchbox Superfast Lamborghini Marzal. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be working on a Lesney Matchbox Superfast Marzal. It's actually not the nicest looking car I've ever seen. I'm kind of looking at it and thinking I don't really like it. Now normally I'd be showing you right here me taking the car apart, but for some reason in my feeble-minded state I can't find any footage of that. I don't know if I forgot to push record or what, but I don't have it. So I'm going to pick it up right here where I am working to get the wheels and axles off the base. To take the car apart, I used my Vix Bit, and we're going to start calling that shielded drilling. So I'm going to use my shielded drilling technique. I took the car apart, and now these axles are just kind of held in by a couple of little clips, and you just got to kind of snake them off and put them to the side. Okay, everything's apart, and I can take a look at all the pieces. The base is in pretty good shape. The glass is an ugly yellow. It's got some issues, but it'll be fine. Here's the body. And the paint's not terrible on it. And here's what it looks like with that ugly yellow glass in it. I wish I had some clear glass for this. That would make this car look a million times better, but I don't. So I'm going to have to live with what I have here. But all in all, everything here is going to be workable. And so let's go ahead and get this thing going. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the paint stripped off of it. But I noticed that inside there's a bunch of like clay or some kind of an adhesive or something like that. So I'm just kind of picking that out of there because I don't know that the paint stripper will remove it. So I just wanted to get that out of there before we head over to the paint stripper. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and slather on my jelly-like paint stripper and watch the magic happen. As I've mentioned before, this is one of my favorite things. I don't know, there's just something oddly satisfying about watching this paint stripper bubble this paint right up and off of these cars, and I really dig it. But we're going to coat it nice and thick and let it do its job. Alright, when the stripper is going slow, we can add some more, or we can take a brush and kind of help it along a little bit. And you see we've made pretty good progress here. But, you know, there's nothing like a little brush to kind of get some of the extra stuff off, and then add a little bit more stripper until we pretty much got everything off. Alright, this is starting to look pretty good, so I think we can go ahead and take it to the sink where we'll go ahead and wash it under some clean water and get the residual stripper off, and we'll hit it with the wire brush. So after the bath in some water and the wire brush, we'll bring it over here, we'll break out the dental picks, and we'll start picking away at any residual left in the fine seams and details. And then we can also hit it up with the brass bristle brush to kind of smooth everything out and get rid of any last little flakes that are clinging to this car. You know, I'd just gotten in all these aftermarket wheels, and I thought maybe I could see what they would look like on this car, because frankly I'm not really thrilled with the way this car looks. So what the heck, I just got the wheels in. Let's go ahead and play with this and take a look and see what everything looks like. Now this set is pretty cool. It comes with 4 different kinds of wheels and tires, fronts and backs, and a bunch of axles. And I'm thinking this is pretty neat, you know. So, you know, it's kind of like playing dress up with Matchbox cars or diecast cars instead of like Barbie dolls. Dress up for cars. So I picked out a set that I thought might look good, and I'm just kind of pressing them onto the axle, and I'm just going to kind of do a little test fit here and see how things would work out and how it would look, because I've never done anything like this before. The base has like a little clip setup designed to hold the axle in, and I think I should be able to put this axle in its place, so it shouldn't be too tough. But again, this is something I've never done before, so first time you, first time me, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, these wheels and axles are going on surprisingly well, and so let's just see if the body would actually fit back on over these, because they're substantially bigger than what I took off. And yeah, it's looking like it might fit. Just got to kind of make sure it's right. Yeah, it fits, and wow, it actually looks pretty bad as hell, man. It just changed the entire feel of this car. Just, I mean, it's an amazing, what a difference. This looks great. From a kind of an uglyish looking car to this, I'm really digging it. So I may be doing my very first car with replacement wheels and tires.
That looks pretty sweet.
Okay, so, well, not only did I like the new wheels and tires that I'm going to try to use on this car, I loved the way they looked on the stripped down body. The wheels are actually like a grayish metallic, and against that metal of the body, it looks so good that I have decided that I'm going to now paint this car in a metallic gray Tamiya paint, and I hope it comes out looking as good as it did in the little test fit there. So I'm pretty excited about this. Yeah, to me that is looking just amazing, and I like the way it's a flat finish, so it's not really shiny, and I'm kind of digging that. So I'm, in addition to the metallic gray paint, I'm going to use that satin varnish from Vallejo so that I can seal the car and protect the paint, but at the same time get more of a satin finish. I think that's going to look really amazing. So a ton of firsts are happening here today. Now, because I'm going for a satin finish, I have to paint this a little bit differently. I'm not going to ever want to put down a nice thick wet coat. I'm kind of laying this on very softly to make sure I don't kill that satin finish, and it's coming out great. Really hate the yellow window. I really wish I had like a clear one or a blue one, but I don't even know if they make it, and I'm not even going to bother to try and hunt down another car just for that. So I just kind of cleaned and polished up this ugly yellow window, and then we're going to take it for the traditional swim into the gauzy to fill in any nicks or scratches or anything like that and give it that extra bit of shine, and it should make it look pretty good. Now, when you see me rolling the jar of gauzy, what I'm actually doing is I'm trying to shake it up without inducing a lot of bubbles, and yet, for some reason, as I'm about to notice right here, man, I have a ton of bubbles in here. I don't know why. So, we're just going to take my little tweezers and pop as many of these things as we can, because the last thing you want is a bubble to come out on your window. And before I let it dry, I'll inspect it thoroughly, but I don't want to have that fight, so it's just, easier to pop as many of these bubbles as possible now. All right, the bubbles are popped. The window is in the gauzy. I can go ahead and pull it out very carefully. Let it start to drain off one of the corners, and at the same time, I'm inspecting it, looking around at it to make sure there's no bubbles or anything on it that shouldn't be there. All right, now take it over to my little paper towel, my blue paper towel, and I'll just kind of wick off the extra because, you don't want big puddles of this stuff sticking to your windows. All right, I got the tiniest little bubble right here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I've wicked off the extra, and now I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up so it can dry and not get any woolly boogers stuck into it. Okay, so the base was in pretty good shape. So after a good cleaning, I hit it with the brass bristle brush, and now I'm taking a little 4-0 steel wool to it to just really give it a little bit of a shine. But as good as it's coming out, I think I can do a little bit better. So this calls for my secret weapon, Flitz. I first learned about Flitz when I was doing my coin rings that I make. And, I'm polishing silver. And some of other products out there, they do great jobs. But I found that the Flitz does a slightly better job, but with a lot less effort on my part. And so I've been hooked on it ever since. So I'm just going to kind of dab some on here, smear it around with my finger, kind of rub it in, give it a little bit of a pre-polish, and then I'll break out my rotary tool and I'll polish it up really good, and we should have this thing shining like a new dime. Look at how sexy this thing is coming out. That's looking great. So after polishing it with the rotary tool, we'll take a soft cloth and we'll just kind of finish it up using the soft cloth and a little hand power. All right, I'm really happy with the base, so I think we're about ready to move on to the next step. Alrighty, this is the best time of any restoration or custom. It's when you're at that point where you think you can go ahead and start putting stuff together. And so I think we're about ready to go ahead and start putting on these replacement wheels and tires. So I've got one rear tire on the axle, one front tire on the axle. I got to go back into my little stash and find their matching partners. And then we can go ahead and put these onto the base. Now, there's not a lot of clearance in this car, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put the wheel and the axle on, and I kind of know how much of the axle I need left to put the other wheel on, and so I can look at it and see about how much I need to get rid of. So I'm going to mark it with a little Sharpie here, and then I'm going to bring in a pair of side cutters, and I'm going to cut a chunk of this away so that the wheels will be nice and solid up against the body or against the base. If they're sticking out too far, the body's never going to go on. We're going to have all sorts of problems. All right, we've got the fronts on, we've got the backs on, and everything is looking just about the way we want it. And I'm really excited about this. Okay, I'm thinking we're about ready for final assembly. So we've got the base with the wheels on it, the interior. Here's the body. We have left it dry for several days so that it's nice and dry and ready to be handled. And we're just going to bring all the pieces together and we're going to get this sucker back together. All right, dry, but I still don't want to take any chances with it, so we'll put down a soft cloth. And then we can go ahead and lay that ugly yellow window back in there. And I'm going to find out a little bit later that actually in this silver color, it's actually all going to work and look pretty nice. I still think a clear one would look a little bit better, but it's not going to be anywhere near as ugly as it was beforehand. And forgive the cuckoo clock, it is 1/2 past the hour. Okay, now we'll drop the interior in, and you notice I'm being kind of ginger with everything. I don't want to damage anything at this point. That would really, really suck. So for the base, we just put the little tab into the back, and then we can just drop the front down over its post. And once we get that down and everything aligned, we can go ahead and put a screw in there to seal this sucker up. Okay, so I'm using just a little 256 buttonhead screw here and my little Allen wrench, and I'm just going to screw this right in there and get this car sealed up. It's going to be tight as a drum. Alright, this car is looking amazing, but it has some very, very prominent markers and stuff on it, and so there's literally no option but to go ahead and deal with them. So I'm going to break out some Tamiya clear orange to paint some of the side markers first. And I've got my little fine point Tamiya brush, got my Tamiya orange, I got my little head visor light thing on there, so forgive my big giant noggin. But as you get older, you need extra focal power and lighting. Alrighty, so we're going to get the side markers on both sides. And now we can go ahead and turn our attention to other parts of the car. In the back, we're going to have taillights that we're going to paint in with Tamiya Clear Red. And also, this has a fantastic molded-in European-style license plate. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and paint it blue and then kind of rub off the highlight so that you can see the number through it. And it should look pretty good. Now here I am, there's a nose badge on the car, and I've pumped out a little bit of Molotov chrome onto a plate, and I'm just using that to paint in the nose badge. And that Molotov chrome should show up pretty good against the metallic gray paint of the car, and just kind of emphasize that the badge is chrome. Okay, I think we can call this car done. Are you ready for the reveal? I hope so. Be sure to watch to the end for the glamour shot at the very, very end. Here it is, in all its glory, the Marzal. And hot damn, I think it came out amazing. Far, far better than I could have ever imagined it would come out. All right, well, there you have it, the Marzal. And I gotta tell you, this went from shabby to chic. I'm telling you, it really... I think the more I think about it, the more I think it was just a really ugly die-cast car. But now, man, I'll tell you what, I am just loving this thing. I still kind of wish the windows weren't this yellow, but the way the car is done up, I think it's okay, and it works out all right. Still has a little crack in it that you can still see a little bit. Definitely softened, but overall, I think this thing came out great, and I'm going to love having it in my little collection. Alright, if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Click the little bell and you'll get a notification anytime I upload a new video. Ask any questions. Make any comments. I really do look forward to seeing those every day. So, have at it. I really enjoy it. Alright, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you have a beautiful, sunny, warm, happy day. And until next time, be good.